about 2 years ago, we suddenly started getting Elle magazine in the mail. We have no idea who pays for the subscription, and it looks like it's paid up for like 4 more years on top of it. At first, I have to admit, we were using it to start fires in the wood stove, to line button quail cages, and things like that. And then, I don't know who it was, me or Brienne or Faith, or maybe even Max, somebody cracked one of these open. And what we found was that it was incredibly good writers, fascinating articles, incredible, though sometimes bizarre, but incredible fashion from all over the place. And Maxwell even found a lot of amusement in it when he took me aside and asked me about that magazine that was sitting on the table, you know, that lesbian magazine, because there was all of these advertisements with all these women draped on each other, as models often are posed that way. But for all of the laughter and that kind of humor, we actually have found some remarkable, yes, some remarkable articles. And in our tradition of not dumbing things down and not taking things at face value, but looking a little bit closer, I wanted to read you guys something from an article in Elle magazine. And maybe some of you will know what I'm actually talking about, and maybe some of you won't, but let's just leave it as it is. The dry cut method was popularized and perfected by the late great John Sahag. Is it Sahag? Born in Lebanon, raised in Australia, and trained in Paris in the heyday of 70s fashion, who shaped some of the most memorable coiffes from the 80s and 90s, from Brooke Shields' voluminous Me and My Calvin's waves to Demi Moore's Ghost-era pixie. The mad professor of hair, as he was once dubbed by master stylist and fellow dry-cut enthusiast Edward Tricomi, Sahag had a penchant for leather pants, partially buttoned black shirts, and a rocker's shag. In an undated interview on YouTube, he slouches in a salon chair, cigarette in hand, explaining how he developed the dry method after learning to cut the traditional way. You wet it, you'd cut it. You're trying to guess, at best, how it's going to finish, he says, using his hands for emphasis as though describing an elegant martial arts move. What I would do is blow it out dry and then go in there and finish it off. And I thought, why not do the whole cut dry? Dry cut method. Dry cut converts say the technique gives an immediate precision that regular wet cutting can't duplicate. As anyone who's ever gotten a haircut the old-fashioned way knows, after it's wet, hair clumps together and is cut in sections. Then it's blow-dried and the stylist goes in and cleans it up. But when hair is dry from the start, individual strands can be singled out to remove bulk while adding volume and movement. Throughout the 80s and 90s, as his colleagues continued to focus on what happens on what happens after the cut, having to bring in hot tools, mousse, hairspray to obtain volume and style, Sahag preached that style could be imparted in the cut itself. For this, he occupies at most mythical place in the hair pantheon. Hairstylist Gabriel Saba, who joined Sahag in the 80s and still works out of Manhattan's legacy-sustaining John Sahag workshop. I'm like pronouncing these names all wrong. I know, you guys, forgive me. Seems almost completely serious when he says of the dry cut method, of the 7 wonders of the world, this is the 8th. So again, to not dumb it down for anybody, I found incredible pleasure and humor in this, especially while his colleagues were busy coming in after the cut to fix all their mistakes, bringing in a ton of other tools, hairspray, mousse, hot tools, other stylists, you know, to fix what could have been done right at the start, done right once. I thought for a lot of our filmmaker friends that follow the vlog, and for those that are just finding us and learning, this would be a great little humorous touch. So thank you to Elle magazine, and I guess specifically, let's try to give credit where credit is due, shall we? Let's see here. Oh my gosh, you guys are just like killing me with the names, right? Which you guys know I suck at, right? The writer was Kezimana A-H, Keza, Weir, W-E-I-R, and it was beauty section, page 246, in the issue October 16th, number 374, had Miley Cyrus on the cover. Probably from a couple of years ago even. Look, we're even keeping these, you guys. Yeah, I think so. I think it was. So anyway, there's our humor for today. Thanks, you guys.